Hello everyone, this is Bradley. Today's tutorial was not planned initially. I was trying to do other effects and then I thought, let's clean things up and make some simpler presentation. So I ended up with these fake Eevee underwater caustics with dispersions. The demo file and the tutorial file are free from the link in the description. This is completely dumb to do and it's not going to be applicable to all possible cases. But I checked the caustics and found very few discussions about it in Eevee, and we can add some more stupid ideas such as dispersion. One of the major concepts was discussed in the separate RGB tutorial, so it's exactly the same effect but with a fancier name as dispersion. The second thing is Gabor texture we will discuss, and the third thing is polar coordinates. So you may realize that 2 of 3 techniques were mentioned in less than a week. The core idea is that this is completely fake by texture. Here, let's go to the shader editor and start with a plane, switch to the render mode, and add a material. One common texture people use is Voronoi texture. It looks like lots of blobs. If you put a float curve and map it, you can see how these lines are presented. This is what people used to do. It's okay, but you see these lines are straight, less interesting. Of course, you have ways to solve it, but I'm going to use a different texture that's only available since 4.3 or so, called Gabor texture. It doesn't look anything like the Voronoi texture I just showed. Instead, it looks kind of desert pattern. But we are going to use this intensity, which looks very weird and organic-like. I will focus on these dark areas. Let's invert it to show the dark lines as white. It becomes too grayish, however, so let's use the same float curve as we did earlier to pop up dark range. Now, here we go. We have more organic curvy lines than the Voronoi texture. Mathematically, this float curve is represented by a mass power function. At an exponents of about 6 to 8, you get how it looks. Given this common use case for Gabor texture, I made it into a Gabor flow preset, where you will see similarities such as 2D or 3D settings, scales as the frequency, and the power exponent as the power. So now we have the white texture or white image. We need to separate RGB as we have discussed in the past. Let's pull out the closure. For vector, let's use vector mass. Define a vector and scale it with the offset. Also, one important thing to know is translation of these vectors. Let's add another mass for offset. You can move in 2D directions as X and Y. But on Z, it doesn't work in 2D, so you should enable 3D option by unticking this 2D check. So now we can evaluate that on the axis. Let's combine X, Y, Z and change these parameters separately using time info node. I'm going to play around Y and Z, so now you can play the animation and see it's flowing on Y and evolving on Z. So now we have a simple fake dispersion done. These are completely fake and we do not even have light in the scene. Sometimes you can fake light masks using multiply with whatever methods. For example, noise texture. Here we have a color ramp to increase contrast and the values to show how it looks. You can also make it 4D and evolve with W. We can put the time info into W so that we all move together. Other ways, for example, you can use a proximity fold, which is similar to a gradient texture in a sphere, but the gradient texture is on the corner. Proximity is gone from center with more proper distance control. This makes it more like a spotlight. Now I'm editing this plane into a room. I will put a Suzanne head in the corner, and for simplicity add the same material. Let's also shade smooth Suzanne and add a subsurf modifier to it. Now the issue comes, how to make this texture mapping better and how to synchronize it. It's important to know that separate RGB vector is using a centered UV map. And interestingly, we can map UV to include both geometries. So let's go to the UV editing, select both geometries, choose an angle of how you plan to project your light, hit U and select project from view with bounds. Then you will see a very unique UV mapping that fully occupies the 0 to 1 area. In this way, the texture is mapped just like you're projecting light onto these surfaces. But you see, it doesn't look like it should. There are some annoying parts on these straight angles, which can be simply solved by shade smooth. So going back to shader and in rendered mode, now we can see these caustics really flowing down and evolving themselves. And you can play with these parameters however you want. Here's one thing I want to note. Right now we're directly outputting color. This is equivalent to the default emission shader. But you can also use principal BSDF, so these caustics can actually respond to the light and shadows. Let's choose, for example, a spotlight and move it to blend it better. You can see caustics are more prominent with light. So finally, it's your decision if you use diffusion color or emission color accordingly. Another note is that you can mix caustics with some designed original color. For good practice, I'm going to use an alpha channel, even if for now color and alpha are the same. If you mix it with blue hue, you can see the cube will show its blue tint in addition to existing caustics. This is just an example. For now, I think it looks nicer just to be dark and less saturated. The only thing left now is a kind of light cone, which may not be obvious, but it does exist. Often in Eevee, we're kind of faking light cones using a plane. But you can also fake it in volume using principled volume. It's a little more tricky because in volume, UV coordinates are less available. You can use either generated or object coordinates. Here I'm going to use object. Let's add a noise texture and increase the contrast with a color ramp. For convenience, I'm going to put it into emission strength without an actual spotlight. I'm going to multiply with 110 and stretch it on the z-axis, so you see these straight beams more clearly. And then play around with parameters as you wish. Right now, these are completely straight like parallel sunlight. However, if you wanted more like a cone light or spotlight, I will use polar coordinates so we can have a radial form. Let's call the polar coordinates, and as taught in the past, let's output the color to the emission and pull the closure out. We input object coordinate to the group inputs, and for the noise texture, replace it with the new polar coordinate and output to the closure color. Now we have a new relationship of multipliers. The short answer is x is on the radial direction, so you shrink or stretch it. Right now, the polar coordinates come from the object coordinates, whose center is on the object origin. Therefore, in this case, we can change it in edit mode, so it shoots rays from the top. And by playing around with the multiplier, on either Y or Z, you can see these interesting beings in a radial direction. And I'm going to use copy transform constraint to make it align with our existing spotlight. We can remove the darkness by reducing the density. We can also reduce emission strength and change the color for our volume. One last note, instead of playing with origin in edit mode, you can also play with object coordinates directly using math. The more you move it up, the straighter the beams become, which I think is a bit interesting and more desired. That's it. I think these are dumb to do, but in specific cases, they actually work in Eevee in a quite fast speed. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll probably see you next time. Bye-bye.